Chosen one, they had no clue that targeting you meant declaring war on the divine itself. What they mistook for weakness was sacred restraint. What they mocked in the dark is now being judged in the light. You are not alone. You walk with ancient forces, cosmic justice, and a bloodline that remembers. The traps they set for you have become their own cages, and every curse they whispered is echoing back tenfold, signed by karma's hand. They didn't just cross a line, they crossed a sacred boundary, and now the consequences are unfolding with a wrath no mortal can escape. You were never the one to fear, you were the one sent to expose. You crossed paths with someone who mistook your depth for convenience, someone driven by hunger, not heart. They feasted on your light while offering nothing but hollow promises and surface-level charm. You saw the red flags waving in your spirit, but you gave them grace they hadn't earned. You hoped love could transform what ego had twisted, but instead you watched them chase illusions while discarding something sacred. They couldn't recognize your value because they were too consumed with their own reflection to truly see you. What they walked away from was rare. What they chose was empty. You bent until your soul ached, hoping your willingness to yield would soften their rigidity. But no matter how much you gave, they only tightened their grip on control, mistaking your grace for weakness. You silenced your needs just to keep the peace, shrinking parts of yourself to fit inside their unyielding world. Deep down, you believed that love meant endurance, but all it did was teach you the cost of abandoning yourself. Now you see clearly, compromise should never come at the expense of your worth, and love that demands you disappear isn't love. It's control in disguise. Your soul never lied to you. It whispered warnings long before the chaos erupted, but you kept silencing it with hope. You saw through the charm, the cycles, the calculated reappearances designed to keep you hooked, but never whole. You felt the drain, the confusion, the aching silence after every hollow interaction. They weren't showing love. They were feeding off your energy, using attention as a leash. And still, you clung to the potential, not the reality. But now you know, real connection doesn't leave you questioning your worth or begging for clarity. It doesn't feel like spiritual exhaustion wrapped in temporary highs. Your intuition was the truth. And next time, you'll choose it over illusion. You kept searching for the soul behind the mask, convincing yourself that glimpses of decency meant something deeper was there. But every time you reached for honesty, they handed you illusion. They spoke in circles, dressed lies in half-truths, and wore empathy like a costume. You weren't just betrayed, you were emotionally starved while being told you were fed. They mirrored what you longed for just enough to keep you anchored in fantasy, while their actions slowly unraveled your self-trust. But now you see it. The person you loved was a performance, and your love deserved a stage of truth, not manipulation wrapped in empty words. You gave gold, they gave you smoke. Never again will you water plastic and call it growth. The moment you stopped abandoning your own knowing, the universe responded. A quiet but powerful awakening stirred inside you, the kind that doesn't just change your thoughts, but rewrites your entire frequency. What once felt confusing became crystal clear. You realized you weren't unlucky, you were being prepared. Every drained moment, every silent cry, every time you questioned your worth was pointing you back to yourself. You started seeing the truth not just in them, but in you, your patterns, your self-sacrifice, your inner child still hoping to be chosen. But now you know you are the chooser. The shift has already begun, and this time it's aligned with your soul, not your wounds. You began to feel it in your bones, the hollow pull of lust versus the grounded embrace of real love. The more you tuned into your body, the more undeniable the truth became. What you thought was chemistry was actually a craving rooted in lack, not connection. Their presence never fed your soul, it drained it. You realized they weren't offering love, they were performing desire, and beneath that performance was a void too deep for you to fill. You weren't seen, you were used. Every word, every touch, every moment was strategically crafted to extract, not to connect. They never offered themselves, only a projection. And now, with eyes wide open, you see, that was never intimacy. That was survival, disguised as affection. Once the veil lifted, their behavior was no longer mysterious, it was calculated. You saw how every sweet memory they clung to wasn't love, but leverage. They weren't holding on because they cherished you, they were holding on to maintain energetic control. Those tokens of your past weren't sentimental. They were tools to keep your spirit anchored to their orbit. You noticed how they used nostalgia as a trap, dangling half-formed apologies and old photos like bait, hoping to reel you back into the chaos. But you've outgrown the spell. Their world no longer pulls you in because you've remembered your own gravity, and it no longer revolves around them. What you once mistook for passion was actually a psychological trap, love, twisted into a weapon. You began to see how they fed you just enough affection to spark hope, only to vanish and starve you of it, forcing you to chase the version of them that never truly existed. It was never about building a bond, it was about building dependency. Every return felt like a high, every absence like withdrawal, and that's exactly how they kept you entangled. But the moment you saw the pattern for what it was, a cycle of control, you stopped craving the chaos. You stopped calling inconsistency love. You began reclaiming the parts of yourself that forgot what peace felt like. The truth shattered softly at first, then all at once. You realized you weren't just in love with the wrong person, you were entangled in a soul-draining illusion, carefully curated to keep you stuck in a loop of hope and heartbreak. They weren't building a future with you, they were siphoning your light to keep their shadow comfortable. While you brought depth, they brought distraction. While you opened your soul, they hid behind busyness, escapism, and denial. You saw that your vulnerability became a mirror they couldn't stand to face, so they avoided it, avoided you, because your presence revealed everything they were unwilling to confront in themselves. But now, you've awakened. And though it hurt, you've reclaimed your energy, your truth, and the sacred fire they thought they could dim. Your spirit broke through the noise, screaming truths louder than their empty words ever could. For the first time, you chose your own voice over their hollow promises. You started valuing your feelings as sacred signals, not obstacles to smooth things over. You recognized that their stubbornness wasn't just a phase, it was a deep-rooted refusal to change. Their selfishness wasn't a flaw to fix, it was the blueprint of how they operated. The cycle of vanishing and reappearing wasn't passion. It was a tactic crafted to control your heart and keep you tethered. In that moment, you stepped out of the illusion and into your power, finally setting boundaries your soul had been begging for. That defining moment came like a thunderclap, sudden, undeniable, and freeing. The fog that clouded your vision shattered, revealing the raw truth in blazing clarity. You no longer questioned your worth because you knew it deep in your bones. You are the rare jewel, the chosen light they couldn't hold on to, the treasure they discarded chasing fleeting shadows. This wasn't pride, it was spiritual certainty, a soul-level knowing that you are enough, whole, and irreplaceable. No longer seeking their approval or clinging to broken promises, you stepped fully into your power, gifting yourself the validation you'd been waiting for all along. This was your awakening, your rise, your liberation. You embraced the rhythm of divine timing, letting go of the need to force what was never meant to be rushed. You understood that your peace, your sacred inner calm, was far more valuable than clinging to their fleeting presence. Your energy is a rare currency, not to be spent on those who fail to recognize its worth. Settling was never an option for someone forged by the cosmos for greatness. You chose to honor your own essence instead of waiting for their validation. With fierce clarity, you stepped out of the shadow of victimhood and into the throne of your true power. You reclaimed your sovereignty, drawing a line that no one will ever cross again. No more giving your all for scraps. You are the force that demands balance, respect, and the fullness of your own divine worth. You took back every drop of energy you had given to something unworthy, a cracked vessel that could never hold your sacred love. Your heart is a temple, and you refuse to let it be trampled by hands that don't know how to honor it. You saw their deceit not just as betrayal, but as their own unraveling, a fall from the grace they once had. Every lie they spun, every wound they inflicted on you was a fracture in their own spirit. On the deepest level, your souls are intertwined, and what they cast toward you rebounds onto their own essence. In reclaiming your power, you set in motion a healing that extends beyond you, breaking the cycle, freeing both your spirit and theirs from the chains of illusion. You realize this journey wasn't punishment, it was a masterclass in your own value. Every heartbreak, every shattered trust, every tangled moment was a lesson sculpting you toward awakening. You were never broken. You were the missing piece, patiently waiting for the right alignment. What you once called patience was a surrender too costly, a silent erasure of your own needs. What felt like compassion was a gentle mask over self-neglect. What you believed was unconditional love was, in truth, love asleep, blind to your own boundaries. Now, fully awake, you reclaim your power to love fiercely, wisely, and most importantly, for yourself. This wake-up call rewrote your story, transforming every boundary and belief about what you deserve. You didn't just step away, you stormed back into your power, reclaiming your energy and self-worth with unapologetic force. This wasn't a quiet retreat, it was a seismic shift that rippled through your spirit and beyond. You declared an end to compromise and made peace with the truth that you are enough, wholly and completely. No longer a pursuer, you became the chooser, pouring your love, respect, and admiration inward. You took the throne as your own champion, becoming the unshakable source of validation and grace that you had been searching for all along. You forged boundaries that weren't fragile illusions, but unbreakable walls of fire, designed to shield your energy with fierce respect. These weren't polite requests. They were unwavering declarations of your worth, carved from the deep knowing of who you truly are. You became unavailable to anyone who treated you as an option, showing up only for what aligned with your highest purpose and honor. You learned to nurture yourself with the love and attention you once sought elsewhere, becoming your own sanctuary and fiercest advocate. Solitude became a sacred choice, not a lonely surrender, as you stepped away from anything that failed to meet your elevated standards. You transformed from waiting in shadows to walking boldly in your light, making it clear, entering your world is a privilege reserved for those who respect your soul's magnitude. You immersed yourself in self-love with such radiant intensity that it became impossible for them to overlook. Your focus shifted entirely inward, to your healing, your transformation, your rising. You embraced the sacred process of becoming the fullest version of yourself, releasing the need to fix what was never yours to mend. With deliberate grace, you reclaimed every ounce of your energy, leaving a presence so powerful in its absence that it echoed through their world. The space you once filled turned into an undeniable void, revealing just how much they had relied on your light to sustain their own shadows. Your withdrawal wasn't just silence, it was a mirror reflecting their dependence and a declaration that your power belongs solely to you. You cultivated an energy of unwavering stability, secure, adaptable, and resilient. Rooted deeply in your worth, you moved with the flow of divine guidance, bending gracefully without ever fracturing. Storms came, but your foundation held firm, anchored in self-love and trust. You shifted from a mindset of lack to one of abundant possibility, recognizing that they were simply one option among countless paths, not your only lifeline. Your energy rose to meet your true value, radiant and uncompromising, refusing to dim or shrink for anyone who couldn't meet you at your height. The instant you stepped away, the entire dynamic flipped on its head with seismic force. Panic swept through them like a sudden storm. They couldn't shake the fear that you were gone for good. Your silence spoke louder than any words ever could, resonating through every corner of their being, shaking their foundation. What they once took for granted became a powerful void they couldn't fill or ignore. You had unleashed a consequence born from your refusal to stay invisible, a force so real and undeniable it changed everything they thought they knew about you and about themselves. You had them trembling like a sinner caught in the light because your energetic withdrawal sent ripples straight into the spiritual realm, ripples they couldn't dodge or explain away. The universe answered your boundaries with swift, undeniable consequences, reflecting back the weight of how they treated the chosen one. Your fierce self-love shattered the foundation of their selfishness, leaving no room for their ego to hide. As your confidence soared, their own self-worth began to unravel in real time, exposed and crumbling under the pressure of your unapologetic rise. They finally confronted the hard truth. Their sense of worth was tangled in your constant presence, and now that you were gone, they had no choice but to face the emptiness within themselves. Your newfound peace shattered the chaos they had grown comfortable in, and your clarity cut through their fog of confusion like a blazing light. Your elevated standards laid bare the mediocrity of how they treated you, and your growth highlighted their own stalled evolution for everyone to see, most painfully for themselves. You became an unyielding mirror, reflecting their shortcomings back to them, and as you reclaimed your energy and rebuilt your self-esteem, they crumbled under the weight of your independence. They couldn't bear the sight of you thriving without them. The strength you gained in their absence was a truth too powerful for them to accept. Your radiant glow became the alarm they never expected, a piercing wake-up call that stirred their deepest fears and insecurities. In that mirror, they finally saw the truth. They were the source of the chaos all along. While you poured your love hoping to heal, they were busy trying to drag you down to their own brokenness. But now that you chose yourself, the emptiness they tried to mask with your energy stood bare and raw. The tables turned completely. Where once they wielded power and control, now desperation and helplessness took hold. Meanwhile, you rose from confusion and rejection to clarity and fierce discernment. The shift in energy was so profound, it left them staggered, struggling to find their footing in a world where you stood unshakable. The instant you decided to honor yourself, a cosmic shift ignited. Divine protection that had waited patiently sprang into full force. Your spirit guides and ancestors surged forward, recognizing the bravery of their own bloodline shining through you. The universe assembled a legion of spiritual warriors, angels, guides, and cosmic forces ready to shield and uplift you with an unstoppable power. You became a living embodiment of divine love, wrapped in an unbreakable shield forged by generations before you. Protecting yourself sent a clarion call to your spiritual family. Cover our beloved now. Because of your alignment, those who underestimated you were met with consequences they never saw coming. They learned the hard truth: to cross you is to challenge forces far beyond mortal grasp. By choosing your soul first, you became untouchable, a beacon of sacred strength, guarded by the universe itself. Your vibration soared to heights where the noise of lower energies couldn't follow, leaving them powerless to touch your light. Clarity washed over you like a cleansing rain, bringing profound revelations and unwavering inner solidarity. You carved out sacred space for yourself, allowing truth to emerge without distortion or compromise. The fog that once clouded your vision lifted completely, revealing the raw, unfiltered reality of every situation. As you honored your worth, the spiritual realm responded in kind, amplifying your power beyond measure. Your manifestation abilities ignited, drawing effortlessly all you had long desired, because at last your energy aligned perfectly with your highest aspirations. The shield encasing you grew impenetrable, a divine fortress that turned any ill intent back upon its origin with fierce precision. You became truly bulletproof, not just in spirit, but in every aspect of your existence. You unlocked the ultimate truth that transforms everything. Your success flows directly from the depth of your self-love. This isn't mere optimism or empty words, it's immutable spiritual law. Self-love is the bedrock of every blessing, the cornerstone of abundance and manifestation. When you honor yourself fully, the universe responds with unwavering love, opening doors and creating miracles that mirror your devotion from within. You built an unshakable foundation of stability from within, no longer chasing it from unreliable sources outside yourself. With your energy fully contained and honored, your performance soared in every part of your life, free from the drain of unreciprocated giving. You transformed into a closed, energetic system, recycling your own power and fueling your growth. That effortless, made-in-the-shade aura emerged naturally from deep self-care and unwavering self-respect. Magnetism came as a byproduct of embracing your authentic self fully. Through trials and triumphs, you grew stronger and more flexible, flowing gracefully with spiritual guidance. You mastered the art of bending without breaking, surrendering to divine timing instead of forcing fearful outcomes. And in doing so, you thrived beyond measure. You sparked true abundance by fully appreciating the blessings already in your hands. Instead of waiting for someone else to change, you stepped into the role you'd longed for, becoming your own source of love, support, and fulfillment. By giving yourself what you once sought externally, you unlocked a powerful alignment that burst open the floodgates of manifestation like never before. The universe echoed the decree, "Now is your moment." You entered a realm saturated with abundance, where the energy of manifestation thickened in the very air you breathed, an unstoppable force drawing your deepest dreams effortlessly into reality. Your fierce self-love carved out room for all that your heart truly longed for. No longer did you settle or dim your light to fit into less than your worth. You transformed into a powerful magnet, drawing in opportunities, people, and experiences that resonated with your raised vibration. The universe began responding with resounding yeses, aligning every blessing with your highest good. Your unwavering spiritual practice unlocked results that felt nothing short of miraculous. You mastered the art of receiving with the same grace and abundance you had always extended. Suddenly, the dreams you once chased began to pursue you effortlessly, irresistibly, and in perfect timing. All the seeds you'd planted began to bloom with effortless grace, as if the universe whispered, "Now is your moment, warrior." The pressure of the ticking clock transformed into a steady rhythm that danced alongside you, turning time from a foe into your greatest ally. Divine timing aligned perfectly, flowing in harmony with your intentions instead of resisting them. The gates of manifestation swung wide open, and whatever you set your mind to manifested with breathtaking speed. Your thoughts crystallized into reality faster than ever, and your visualization practice became a powerful tool, producing results so vivid and tangible, even you were left in awe of your own power. You embraced healing instead of clutching resentment, and in that decision, your entire path transformed. From every struggle, you drew profound wisdom, recognizing that hardship is the catalyst for growth and deeper understanding. You honored your journey of restoration, knowing that the time spent nurturing yourself was vital to your evolution. You absorbed the lessons without becoming trapped in the story of pain, choosing instead to view the experience as an essential chapter in your unfolding. Forgiveness became a sacred gift you gave to yourself, not to them, freeing your spirit from the heavy burden of anger. You realized that holding on to bitterness was like drinking poison and expecting someone else to suffer, so you released it and reclaimed your peace. You harnessed your pain as powerful fuel for your purpose, alchemizing wounds into wisdom that could uplift and guide others. Gratitude blossomed within you for every hard lesson that revealed your true worth. You came to see that every trial was a divine preparation for something far greater than you'd imagined. Each rejection wasn't a loss, but a sacred redirection, an invitation from the universe steering you away from settling and toward your highest destiny. Every door that closed was a blessing in disguise, clearing the path for one even more magnificent to swing wide open. You recognized that this journey wasn't just about a relationship, it was a profound chapter in. You understood that true separation exists only in the physical realm, while on the spiritual plane, your connection remains unbreakable, an invisible thread woven through the fabric of 5D consciousness. Though physical boundaries became your shield for growth and protection, you learned to guard your energy from the turbulence of their emotional storms. Communication shifted beyond words into silent telepathy, as their fear of reaching out physically created new distance. Their presence lingered in your dreams, in the subtle shifts of your environment, even in fleeting scents that defied logic. You embraced the profound mirror effect. Every wound they inflicted ricocheted back to their own soul. Recognizing your role as the awakened guide, you led not by force but by the power of your conscious choices, understanding that your personal healing ripples outward, healing not only yourself, but the collective consciousness as well. Your growth became a beacon, lighting the path for others to break free from cycles that bound generations before you. You embodied self-love with unwavering clarity, showing what it truly means to choose yourself rather than settle for less. In your strength, you understood why they kept their distance, because deep down, they recognized their own unworthiness to receive the brilliance you offered. They faced the truth that transformation was their only way back to stand beside you authentically. Though absence felt painful, it was necessary. Until they could meet you with the love and respect you deserve, their place was away, honoring the space you created for your own healing and elevation. You realized that their deception was not just a betrayal of you, but a profound fall from their own grace. Their refusal to show up authentically with you was a reflection of the deeper struggle within themselves, a fear of facing their own truth. Every time they ran from you, they were actually running from the parts of themselves they couldn't yet accept. As twin flames bound by one soul split into two vessels, you understood why their journey was marked by such intense karma. Their struggles were intertwined with yours, and the path to healing required confronting not only each other, but the shadows within that kept you both trapped. They cannot escape the ripple of consequences their actions have caused. Each wound they inflicted upon you reverberates back, wounding their own soul. You refuse to dim your light or lower your vibration to meet their confusion, even as their energy tries to drag you into familiar cycles of pain. While they wrestle with their unresolved patterns, you hold firm to your unshakable standards and continue rising beyond stagnation. With unwavering faith over fear and trust over control, you navigate every test with grace and strength. Your healing journey remains your priority, untouched by their attempts to re-enter or disrupt your peace. You keep your heart open, but you no longer make yourself available to toxicity. Your unconditional love now includes the courage to walk away from anything that no longer serves your highest good. Fully aligned with divine possibilities, you shut the door on past dysfunction and drama, evolving into a magnet for the love and success you truly deserve. In choosing yourself, you embody the ultimate act of love, the true foundation of all triumph. You step confidently into your power as the chosen one, fully aware of your worth and radiant with undeniable value. You live rooted in abundance consciousness, casting aside the limiting grip of scarcity in every aspect of your life. Your energy now magnetizes only those who resonate with your true frequency, as you refuse to be available for anything less than authentic alignment. Trusting divine timing has become your natural rhythm, born from witnessing the miracles that unfold when you surrender rather than resist. You love with fearless courage, fully aware that your worth isn't tied to how others respond or validate you. Your light shines unapologetically bright, no longer dimmed by fear of overshadowing others or causing discomfort, because your radiance is a gift meant to illuminate, inspire, and transform. You speak your truth boldly, prioritizing authenticity over the fleeting comfort of acceptance, and choosing honesty even when it disrupts superficial harmony. Your boundaries stand firm because you know that love without limits isn't love. it's merely permission to hurt. Each day you choose yourself with unwavering devotion, recognizing that true love begins and ends within your own heart. You have become the embodiment of everything you once searched for in another, offering yourself the love, attention, appreciation, and respect you deserved all along. In this wholeness, you stand complete and self-sufficient, no longer seeking validation from outside, but fully grounded in your own powerful essence. They now see you as a force of success and understand that approaching you empty-handed is no longer an option. They want to contribute something real, bringing value to the table instead of merely taking from what you've worked so hard to build. They recognize the price of their unwillingness to compromise, finally grasping what they lost when they refused to bend. You've reached a place where your life truly feels made in the shade, and their admiration is well-deserved. Your foundation of stability, security, and achievement shines bright and undeniable. Your excellence radiates in every area of your life, embodying abundance so fully that it challenges them to elevate themselves, because witnessing your rise inspires them to match your level of greatness. They watch your self-love shine so brightly that it awakens a desire within them to discover that same love for themselves. They see your success and feel inspired to step into their own power and achievement. Your calm presence highlights the chaos in their lives, stirring a yearning for the peace you effortlessly carry. Deep within, you recognize that you were always the one. Your soul simply needed to reclaim and fully embody this eternal truth. You've evolved from waiting and longing to radiating love in every breath, becoming a living testament to what it means to be love itself. You've risen beyond the need for external validation, becoming your own most powerful source of approval and unwavering support. No longer waiting for change, you embody the transformation you wish to see, lighting the way through your actions and presence. You've left behind the mindset of victimhood, stepping fully into the consciousness of a victor, resilient and unstoppable. Settling is a thing of the past. Now, you set uncompromising standards that reflect the sacredness of your divine worth. You've transcended the habit of surrendering your power, reclaiming your absolute sovereignty, and from this place, you vow never to give it away again. They thought they could diminish you, treating you like just another player in their game, unaware that they were challenging a soul shielded by cosmic forces beyond their comprehension. What they didn't realize was that every attack against you was actually a wound inflicted upon themselves on a profound spiritual plane. Now your energy radiates with such undeniable power that it shifts the atmosphere the moment you enter any space. Your transformation is not just visible, it's felt deeply by all, a testament to the unstoppable force you have become. You embody the truth that the most profound love story is the one you craft with your own soul. The universe has affirmed this sacred connection again and again. This is undeniably a twin flame union. While the divine masculine energy wavers, you stand unwavering in your radiant divine feminine strength. The chosen one has made the ultimate choice to honor and uplift themselves, and the cosmos rejoices in your triumph. Your spiritual armor is impenetrable, your protection unwavering, and your success written in the stars, guaranteed by the immutable laws of the universe. Your worth shines with an unshakable and timeless brilliance. You have stepped fully into the being you were destined to become, awakened, empowered, and unstoppable in your truth. The universe itself reveres your magnificence, bowing in acknowledgement as you finally embrace the divine essence that has always lived within you.